I've got him in the studio now. Cam, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's okay. I'm excited for everyone to hear what you're about.
Yeah.
Let's start off with your background. Tell everyone where you're from.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Adelaide, born and bred. Grew up in the northern suburbs, and then moved around a little bit, and then managed to get on the list with Woodville West Torrens and just work my way up through the development teams, and lucky enough to get drafted when I did. Then obviously was there for 8 years, and then got traded to Brisbane, which was unreal. Great experience. Unfortunately, the year COVID started, so it was good for the first 5 months, and then COVID started, so we were locked up and couldn't really do too much. And then had a year on the Gold Coast, which was good fun, and then made my way down here.
You've just summed your whole life up for me. Okay, everyone
pretty
can
much.
go home.
That's it. Yeah, it was.
We'll break it down. So you're from Adelaide.
Yeah.
Your family. You got any siblings?
Yeah. So I'm one of 5. So I got an older brother who has a younger, who's got a son.
Yep.
I have a younger brother who has two kids, a daughter and a son.
Yeah.
Little Lennon Jr. and Vilma. And then I got two younger sisters. One has a daughter, and the youngest one's
Are you getting the nudge? Are you? Or what?
Oh, pretty much. It's at that stage really. So.
Well, speaking of, you've hard launched a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Can
we let everyone know that? How did you guys meet?
Yeah. So we met like a month before I moved back to the Gold Coast. Moved from the Gold Coast, but we were kind of just It was kind of I'm leaving. We're not going to do anything serious and everything like that. So, and then kind of this year we kind of still kept in touch here and there and that. But this year we're just like let's make something of it. Yeah, have a crack.
Bianca?
Bianca.
Yeah, I did not want to get that wrong.
Yeah, Bianca. Or everyone says Bianca. Is that a thing?
I think it's just like an American.
Wherever
Aussie, like people say it different.
Because she's on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So like Gold Coast has a big American influence. So we always get her at a cafe, Bianca.
Bianca sounds like a fancy
Yeah,
version. I reckon.
She's from the Gold Coast, so they're all fancy.
Oh,
which is
cool.
weird.
And we always chat about fur babies on here. Because me and Liam are crazy dog people. You yourself have got a beautiful dog, Echo. Yeah, so
he'd be coming up to, what is he, 6 now? So so not long. So I've had him for ages, which has been great. Like, I brought him everywhere with me. We could always go to the park, the river. Just loves it. Loves life. Loves the ball. Loves the footy. Has torn up most of my footies, so I don't leave him anywhere. He's just one of my best friends. Like, it's just so good.
They make you feel at home, away from home, don't they? Like, I think when you have your dogs with you, just like you feel at peace.
Yeah. Well, I moved down here by myself, so I was so happy to have him because I was like, it would have been a struggle if I didn't have him. Which is, I don't know whether is it weird to say or is that just
no? Because I went up to the Gold Coast and I couldn't get a house for my dogs, and I just felt so homesick, and I said, I don't even think it's the town or the people, it was the dogs. And when I got back home to my dogs, I felt immediately better.
100%.
I get you. I totally get you. So we can jump. You summarised your footy before, but let's start from the start. So junior footy.
Yeah. So I was at a school called Flinders Park, and I was just playing school footy and got picked up from there. It's called Zone Development Team, and Eagles managed to pick me up, and pretty much just went through all the grades. I was just lucky enough to stay in the team, and I wasn't too bad when I was younger. I definitely got better as I got older, but never played any state teams or anything like that. Just kind of went through all the development teams.
Really?
Yeah, I played one game of under 18 state.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played the first game, got dropped. I didn't think I played that bad, but got dropped.
Because obviously your size is a massive pro for you now. Were you always like bigger structured as a kid, or you grew into that?
Nah, it was only weirdly it was only until I was 24, 25 maybe that I started to put some body on. So I'm half Papua New Guinean, so I'm Aboriginal Papua New Guinean. My mum's Aboriginal. My dad's Papua New Guinean.
Yeah.
And my brother's always had the Papua New Guinean build. Stocky, like not too tall, but he's tall, but just always filled out. Ever since we were growing up, so he definitely used to beat on me a fair bit. I was fast though; I could get away.
It's a good learning tool though when you go through that as a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. But I kept the skinny like Aboriginal build growing up, and then once I got to 24, 25, I started to fill out, which was nice.
You didn't know what's happening. You're like,
yeah, I was like, what was the? It was the year I did my knee. That was probably the biggest thing when I did my knee. And it just broke everything down. Like I hit the gym properly. Like you do weights before that and stuff like that, but I just couldn't put on weight. Yeah. And then that year, just somehow, it just all worked.
Well, probably not running and.
Not running. I got to a stage where I was doing upper body. I was obsessed with like calisthenics and all that. So like doing muscle ups and all the like.
That's so good for you and for your flexibility and. Agility and stuff as well. It
was so good. I loved it. I was doing like all this gymnastic stuff, going to a gymnasium, and then they said I was getting too heavy, top heavy. So
you can't win, can you?
Yeah. So like the 6 months, once the 6 months was up, then it was just all leg weights, and I had to tone it down a bit. But upper body was really strong and started to put on some weight, which was nice. Yeah. Especially being a midfielder. So.
Cool. So you did your juniors, went up the ranks. When did you hit the sample?
So I played my first game the year I got drafted.
Okay. So how old were you then?
I was 18.
18. Yep.
Yeah. Before that, just struggled. I was tall, but I wasn't as strong. I played everywhere, half back, half forward. In the mid, not really that much in the mid, to be honest. Yeah. I was more of a key position player. And then it was, in my draft year that I went into the mid and started playing a little bit better. I was a bit more agile for most of the tall guys, which is good.
So that was 2011 you got drafted?
Yep.
Did you were you expected to be drafted or?
Yes and no. Like, it's so funny, like, I didn't really, I did my knee into, was it 2010? At the start of 2010. Yeah. So coming back for the draft year, I was kind of just like, I just wanted to play footy with my mates. Yeah. And I wasn't like ready for it. I didn't know if I was a chance. And then my first under 18s development game, the coach came up to me at halftime and just said, keep playing really well, you're doing well. And then after the game, he comes up to me and said, I've had a few scouts ask about you, like, because I wasn't playing the year before because of the knee reconstruction.
Yeah. So who is this guy?
Pretty much just popped out because I was always a key position player, and then being a tall mid is kind of rare. Yeah. Well, not anymore. It's kind of the thing with the bonds and the
bodies are getting like bigger and stronger now.
Yeah, aren't they? Definitely. Yeah. But when I got drafted, it was all small, like 5'11", 6 foot guys, kind of in the midfield, stocky and stuff like that. But it wasn't normal to see a key position guy in the midfield. So when I got when I got told that I was a chance, so scouts were looking at me, and then all of a sudden I had managers calling me up wanting to manage me, and it was just like that first 3 months was just crazy.
So it took you a bit by surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I still just wanted. It was my first year back from a knee reconstruction. I got told this was one of the things was when I first found out I did my knee, the doctors like, you probably won't play footy ever again.
It's like the last thing you want to hear, isn't it? Especially when you're that age and you probably dedicated majority of your life to it.
Absolutely. And like you hear about it and all that stuff, like you see it in the NFL, like once you do that you can't really come back and all that type of stuff. You're not going to be the same player.
It's young for a knee reco too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just kind of, it was funny, like my nan's taken me to the hospital because grew up with my nan as well.
Yeah, we didn't touch on Nana Cam before.
Yeah,
you love your nan, don't you?
That should be its own segment. She's that
literally gets a whole sequence.
Yeah. But she took me to the hospital, and then she's we're in the car and we're driving, and then she's like, we'll do whatever we can do to get me back on the park and stuff.
Yeah.
And then one of her good friends was actually Ben Rutten's mum, who was a key defender at Adelaide. For all the young people that probably don't.
In case you don't know.
Yeah. And he actually did it the same year I did mine.
Okay.
So before it, and then his mum told my nan about what he had to do and all that type of stuff, and that it's possible to get back. So that was kind of the key spark to try and dedicate myself to doing the rehab, getting myself back, and getting myself on the park for my draft year, pretty much.
You're right, because when you can see someone else you're doing it, like, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely. And he was like a tall guy, like same
Similar.
age, pretty much, similar. So I was like, sweet, inspiration right there, and helped me get back to at least playing footy again. That's all I kind of wanted to do, and then getting drafted was a whirlwind.
So you get drafted, but then you don't actually play a game for the first 2 years. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how does that go, like, emotionally? You would have been, you did your knee, you get drafted, you're on the high, then you don't get a game. Like, was that mentally tough for you to keep at it?
Yeah, it was. I guess getting drafted was just something in its own. Like, we got to, I think it was like I was round 3, like pick 64. And we got to about 50, and everyone had a barbecue, and everyone was like, we'll just pretty much we just started talking and didn't even worry about it. My mum was still sitting next to the radio, and then when it popped up, I was just like, what the Can I swear? Can I swear?
No, sorry. I don't think we can. Sorry. Or I can just do a little bit.
And so like getting drafted and getting the phone call from the coach, getting a phone call from a few of the leaders from Adelaide and all that stuff was just crazy. And then pretty much had to quit my job. I was working at a security place, like detailing cars, and pretty much literally the next weekend I was meant to go for my security license, so they wanted me to go on security. So I could have been a bouncer.
Yeah.
Could have had
I can see you doing that, to be honest.
Well, now it makes sense, but back then when I was like a skinny kid, he was just like, "Oh, you're tall, you should be able to do it."
You'll be right.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then pretty much you get thrown straight into it. Start pre-season, start running, get ready, and it's pretty full on. And like, people, it's amazing. I love watching like the guys like Nick Dacos and all those young boys now who are jumping into an AFL club and just
it's actually insane, isn't it? It's like they've been there for years. Like, also, what are they feeding these kids? Like Harley Reid, like how are you 18 looking like that? Like it's got to be genetics to a certain point.
Well, inside word is because I obviously am working around here. We did the solar for Tungala Meatworks, which is just down the road. Yeah. So that's prime beef, like straight going. Harley Reid's definitely going there. Like I reckon it's going.
Up.
Yeah, straight delivery, straight to him. Like I reckon he owes Grenham's like a lot.
Lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. So the abattoir's right there. So he must be just. Yeah, that's why he's getting so big and
I don't know.
So developed.
But I was doing a little bit of research, and I did find a cool fact. So you weren't playing games, but you were playing the Sample.
Yeah.
But you did get picked in 2013 to play in an Indigenous team in Ireland.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, that just sounds like such a cool experience.
That was, it's probably one of the best footy experiences that I've ever had. Like, just... Yeah. Because you idolise all these boys, like, being an Indigenous man growing up and watching... footy, like my favourite team when I was growing up was Port Adelaide, which is a big Indigenous, I guess, like it's got a lot of Indigenous players and stuff like that. So I love watching them and getting to, I guess, go over and travel with all these boys like Goods, Buddy Franklin played. Like
wow, so they were like big names.
Yeah,
too.
It was massive.
Wow.
It was unreal. It was just it was pretty surreal, especially when getting to the airport. It was me, Jakey Need, and we were just like, we flew to, I think we went to Sydney and met.
Hold on, guys, Cam's getting a call.
So
who did you play?
Yeah, so we played the Irish team. Yeah, the national Irish team.
Any good?
Yeah,
they
they
I just
so
imagine
good.
you guys like killing them. Like.
Nah, well, it was like the first game we were pretty close. We didn't lose by too much. I think it was like, no, don't quote me on this, but I think it was 19 points
roughly.
And yeah, so that was a really good game, and then we played at their home ground, which is, I think it's I don't know if it's the GAA or it's where, what's the name? Where they have all the big.
Can't help you. Sorry.
I can't even. I forgot what the stadium's called. I should know what it is.
The big stadium.
The biggest one in Dublin. It's where Conor McGregor wants to fight. Anyways, if you're a UFC fan out there,
I mean, I know who he is. Wouldn't call myself a fan, but I can paint the picture.
Yeah, he's it's huge, and it was so surreal. Like one of the biggest stadiums I've ever been to, and they absolutely smoked us.
Home ground advantage.
Oh man, their crowd was unreal.
Yeah.
If you ever been to, have you been to Ireland?
No.
Yeah, put that on your list. It's one of the best places I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Just like green countryside, like beautiful people, like the pubs are unreal, the food's just so good, and everyone's just so happy. Like it's just like seriously happy. Like
take me there right now. That sounds good to me.
But yeah, it was just to play with those types of guys, Sean Burgoyne. Lewis Jetta. It was just so fun, and like create a bond. Like I always talk to them every time I see them around and stuff like that. They talk to each other all the time and stuff like that. So yeah, that, and I hadn't even played a game yet at that point of view. So that was my kind of first introduction to a huge type of game. So, it was pretty surreal.
So cool. So speaking of not getting a game, the next year though, 2014, you debut.
Yeah, so debuted in Perth against Freo at Subiaco, which was unreal. Like their crowds are just nuts.
Yeah,
like it's cool. Like I played at Optus, and that was awesome. It's like a coliseum. It's huge, but the crowd is so far back, whereas at Subiaco they're like right there. So I'm like playing my first game, and I was a sub, which I hate. Like
that's not a good way to debut, is it? They shouldn't do that.
Absolutely, I don't reckon I should. No first game player should ever be the sub. Yeah, it just should be a rule. Like, it should
it's not fair. Like
it's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like my mum and my nan flew over, came and watched, which was unreal to see them give me my Guernsey and get presented for that. And then, I'm just waiting to come on. Like, and you can hear the crowd.
Could you imagine them flying your family over there and say you didn't go on?
Oh, absolutely.
We're saying it now. It's got to be a rule, okay? No debuts in the sub position.
Yeah.
But so you go on.
Yeah, so not for the team, but fortunately for me, they were beating us. Okay. And so
I had to try something.
Yeah, so I'm just about to go on, I'm warming up, and I was like, I gotta pee.
Oh no.
So they like to go down where all the change rooms are, it's too far away. So they rolled me through the public change rooms. So I'm playing my first game in my uniform, going through the gate,
strutting through the
going in the toilets, in the urinal, and like I heard the siren go for I think it was 3/4 time. And everyone rolled in and they're just looking at me, and it's the weirdest thing. Oh my god.
Was it just a nerves thing, or you like just were not expecting to go on, so you're like,
100% nerves, because their supporters are wild. They were yelling at me, they were just like berating me, they were just
it boils me. I hate that stuff.
But like I love it. I was like, I can't wait to get on.
Fires you up.
So then I came on, did a bit of a warm up at 3/4 time, got in for the speech, and then bang, I was on.
Was it everything you dream of?
Oh, it was wild. I was just happy to get a touch. Like just to I think I ended up with 5 touches, and it was just awesome to actually just get a handball or a kick or whatever.
Because I had your stats on here, and I was like,
did I have 5?
Yeah, 5 possessions.
Okay, thank you.
You were spot on, but I didn't know that you only went on at 3/4 time. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah. So
got involved in the game.
Yeah, it was it was pretty surreal. I think one of the funniest things was Aaron Sandilands back in the day was still playing.
Yeah.
And he's the biggest guy you ever see. He's a tree. And I just remember I gave him a bump because I was so smaller than him.
Yeah.
I got him under the ribs, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to." I won't say it, but he's like, "Oi, beep," and looked at me, and he started running after me, and I ran.
Yeah.
I just got away from him. Yeah, he was so scary, but it was surreal. It was just I think the best thing for me was seeing my mum and my nan.
Yeah.
In the change rooms, like crying, just happy for me because.
So proud.
Yeah, it was full on journey to try and get there.
Yeah.
And I think for any AFL player that's played, it's probably one of the best moments to know that you're going to play a game and come on, and it's just to see your family who have helped raise you and put so much into I guess all the trainings, all the games, Adelaide's pretty cold down there, so wet weather, footy and stuff like that, and they all your parents brave that type of stuff to support you and stuff like that. So to make them proud of me was pretty awesome.
Hit the spot.
Yeah.
So you're at Adelaide. What years were you at Adelaide from
2011 got drafted, and then end of 2019 is when I went to Brisbane. So
that's a long time.
Yeah, 8 years.
So you were there for the infamous Adelaide camp.
Yeah.
I can't say I know too much about it. Like you hear, it's kind of like one of them along the grapevine things. Like you hear that you guys are probably not treated the best.
Yeah.
I heard someone say like they were pretty much tortured the other day. I'm like, is that?
Yeah,
what were they doing?
It's so funny because like we went over there like it was pre-season. It was a pre-season camp.
Yeah.
So we got told we're going to the Gold Coast, and I was like, hell yeah, like so happy.
Holiday.
I love the beach, love surfing.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much all the boys were wrapped. Then we rolled up to this unreal hotel, like right on the beach in Broadbeach.
Yeah.
And it was just unreal. And then I think we stayed the night there, or one night maybe. And then in the morning, we all went and got coffees and went for a swim. And then just got this text, meet down in the lobby, bring all your stuff. And we were like, oh man. But it was just so weird because we got split up into 3 different groups. I think I can pretty much tell the story about it because I think it's come out. It got leaked back in the day and all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's just we got separated into 3 different groups. So like I can't talk about other people's groups because I don't know what they went through. But like I've heard a bit about it. Like group 1 was the young boys. They just kind of went through a military camp. I think the weirdest thing they had to do was they had to serve us meals at dinner time and not talk to us. So
that's not that bad.
Yeah, so that wasn't that bad. But then our group, like we got on the bus, all the windows are blacked out. Mm-hmm. We're driving, we couldn't see where we're going, and then we pulled over, and then these military guys got on the bus and just like it was wild. And then they just said put your head on the seat in front of you, and we just had to be quiet. And like me, I thought that like I've heard about camps like this and stuff, so I couldn't stop laughing. I was snickering.
I think I would too.
And like, luckily I didn't get blamed, but one of the other boys, I forgot who it was, but he got blamed. Front of the bus, had to pretty much go to the bus by himself.
Yeah.
And then as we're driving, we just get all this different music. Like it was like heavy metal. It was like weird childhood songs, like play school kind of songs.
The mental games have begun.
Yeah, and then they were playing the Richmond song because they had beat us the year before.
Some salt in the wound, why don't you?
Yeah, so that was pretty full on. And then after we got to this place, it was I don't know, in Whoop Whoop, and then we got split into the groups, and our group was kind of all the guys in the middle. So like there's a few older guys, some younger boys that weren't, I guess, classed as the
fresh
and stuff like that. And then it was pretty much my, I guess, opinion about the camp is like they were just pretty much trying to break us down so then we can build each other back up together and make us tighter.
Okay.
Which is pretty much what they tried to do. And thinking about it now as a 30-year-old, some things like you can understand what they were doing, but it was just the fact that they had guys there that weren't qualified at all.
Yeah.
They people were just there that weren't supposed to be there. They're not counsellors. They're not like anyone. They just randoms off the street. It seemed like, and then pretty much we're just trying to break us down, make us vulnerable and stuff like that.
So is it the club's coaching staff and extended staff that are running all this, or it was like a third party military people running all this and the coaches were standing off watching?
Yeah, so it was that, what's it called? Something collective. It's so funny because it's so long ago, I kind of put it to the back of my mind, but they worked with us. The name will come to my head at some stage, but they worked with us the year before.
Yeah.
And I'd done my knee that year, so I didn't work with them. So I didn't know what they were about.
Yeah.
I was kind of new to the whole, program that they were bringing.
Yeah.
Which was good, or I don't know if it was good or bad, but because I just got I got delisted in 2017 because I did my knee, and then they re-rookied me. Okay. So I was pretty much I was down for anything because I wanted to stay on the list, and I wanted to show that I wanted to be at the club, and I wanted to be part of the culture and everything like that. So I was happy to go along with things, but there was just some weird things that they did. Like they got us doing the haka, which is weird.
Yeah.
They got some other stuff like the guys, the people that were running the show were crying and stuff, not just crying, but really crying.
This just seems weird.
Yeah.
Not even that's not really as bad as what I was picturing with what everyone said. Obviously it's not pleasant, but I'm thinking you guys are getting tied up and belted or something.
Yeah, well, that was the older group. So apparently, so the older group, so there was 3 groups there. The older group, I've heard weird stories, stuff that got leaked, in that first year was just they had to they were strapped and they to a tree stump or something like that, and then they had to crawl their way until the people that were running it thought they'd done enough, and
oh my goodness.
Just
do you think
no
it
phones
worked at all? Was there any benefit to it, or did it go the other way and more messed everyone up and caused drama?
It literally so they broke us down, they wanted to break us down to build ourselves up.
Yeah.
But when you look at 2018, that year, as a player in the club, everyone that was in your group, you pretty much hung out with. So the older group got guys with the older guys, middle guys with the middle guys, younger guys with the guys. So
they brought you together, but in groups of 3s.
Exactly, pretty much. We used to, and so it was, But the thing for me is I didn't think we needed that type of stuff because I guess the year before our coach Phil Walsh passed away.
Yeah.
And that was probably a huge driving force for us getting to that 2017 grand final. It was we're doing it for him because he's still I regard him as one of the best coaches I've ever had.
Yeah. You don't get much better motivation than that.
Nah, and he was just he's the way he is, the way he went out and stuff like that. He was just such a strong person, and we wanted to do it for him. We wanted to get that success, and the boys went all the way to a grand final, which is unreal. It's pretty hard to get to. And then we decided to do a different program to bring us closer, and it pretty much did the opposite effect, which disaster. Absolutely. Well, it went viral, it went all over the place, I'm pretty sure. It was the biggest talking point in footy in Australia.
Well, they say no publicity's bad publicity.
Yeah, well, Adelaide was on the map, but not for the good things.
Good reasons, yeah.
But it's an experience that I'll never forget, and it's funny, I think it'll be always talked about. Adelaide will always have that
lingering over them.
It's nearly, it will always be 2017 Cam, Adelaide Crows.
Yeah. So you can put that in your room here. Gosh, I did not know the extent of that. So you get traded to 2019. Was that Did you get delisted from Adelaide, or it was a requested trade, or what was your trade process?
So, yeah, this was a fun one because I knew I was going probably halfway through the year.
Okay.
And
was it just a vibe you could get, or they told you?
I said I'm going because I was at that stage. Like once you get the year 8, you're unrestricted free agent, so you don't have to. You can get traded without Adelaide getting something.
Okay.
So, I pretty much they approached me midway through the year. I went to Sydney for a weekend, and my manager got a call from them and they said, "Oh, do you want to meet up?" And I was like, "Sweet." So Fags and Dom came to, which is Dom Ambrosio, came to my hotel room because we wanted to be quiet because you know what it's like in a small town. If anyone found out in Adelaide, it would have just been nuts.
And even the media, they just turn it into something. It can be something genuinely innocent, and you're just painted like the villain.
Oh, absolutely. So I had the meeting and I loved it. I met Fags and everything, and I just knew they were going the right direction. Obviously, from this year,
you're onto it.
But yeah, they were already successful. I think they just lost that year they lost to GWS in the prelim, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were in the finals for the last couple of years. But I just Charlie Cameron. Who I played with, he had gone the year before. So, and I obviously called him up, said, "What's it like? Will I like it?" and everything like that. And yeah, I was pretty much sold. I was ready to leave that 2017 camp behind me.
Close the chapter on that one.
Close the chapter. And I kind of wanted to get out of Adelaide. It was one of those things like, Adelaide's a small town. Everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
So I was ready to just like try something different.
And you're like 8 years, that's a long time. You get itchy feet. You're like, I want to change. People.
Definitely. It was like 8 years, very like injury riddled and stuff like that. I wish I played more. But yeah, sometimes your body doesn't hold up.
Yeah. So you play a number of games at Brisbane, and then you get moved to the inactive list in 2022.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
How I just can't even imagine hearing like your whole story, how that felt like.
Yeah, that was it's funny because like I'm still like I wouldn't be here if I didn't stand by what I believed in.
Yeah.
And like obviously COVID hit, the vaccines were rolling out, and I didn't feel like I needed it. Like I did the research.
Yeah.
I had lots of people who I talked to.
So is there possible side effects that were the reason you didn't want to get it?
Well, side effects, I guess the vaccine hadn't been trialled properly. It kind of just got rolled out. And I just didn't think I needed to have a vaccine. And yeah, obviously like people had died from it. It obviously hit Australia after everywhere else.
Yeah.
But at that stage, I just said to the club, like I understand. I stopped getting the flu jab way earlier, and I just didn't think I needed it, and I honestly I didn't think it was going to get to the point where I'd have to choose between footy and the vaccine, because I didn't think it was that big of a deal, especially like in Australia. Obviously, it was massive.
Yeah. It's more the legalities of it, hey, like even regular people, like I had people out at my work just in a factory, they all lost jobs as well because they refused to take it. So it's like,
absolutely,
it hit everyone so hard, and it's unfortunate that it was what was legal at the time. So, the AFL are trying to keep the standard afloat. They're like, oh, people can only play if they've had that, and so they're in a hard place and you're in a hard place. But did you ever think of just being like, oh, stuff it, everyone's had it, majority are fine, like I want to keep playing AFL, just take it?
No, I definitely had I guess moments of thinking about it, and like my ex-partner at the time she ended up getting the vaccine, and I guess the good thing for me was a lot of people in South Australia never got it, and a lot of people in Brisbane and Gold Coast were opposed to getting it, so I had places and it wasn't locked down, so I didn't feel like I I was too restricted.
Yeah, you didn't really have to get it.
Yeah, have to get it. And then they brought in the AFL brought in the rule that you have to have 1 or 2 vaccines. And I just said to him, I'm not going to get it. And then I think it was January 19th or January 21st was the cutoff.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't have got it, pretty much had to be put on the inactive list.
Yeah.
And yeah, I chose not to do it, and pretty much stopped training because we're in pre-season. Stopped training with the club, and then looked for another football club on the Gold Coast and moved all my stuff, and that was pretty much the end of Brisbane, really.
Because it's the end of AFL too.
Yeah.
Like, was that something that was really really hard for you, or because it was like a conscious decision you'd kind of come to terms with it?
Yeah. Well, I heard about it and I kind of made the decision probably at the start of pre-season. So I had 3 or 4 months to think about it and think about what I wanted to do. And I kind of just got to the point where there's not much research about this vaccine. Who knows what could happen long term, 4 or 5 years down the track. And one thing I've always done was anytime I had injuries, I made sure that I recovered really well, because my biggest thing is I want to be able to run around with my kids.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy. I want a long life. And I just thought, why put myself at risk for, I guess, a short term? Could potentially have 1 more year. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
So I just thought to myself, maybe this is time for me to move on to the next chapter of life.
You just knew.
Yeah.
So you made the decision to sue Brisbane.
Yeah.
Were you ever worried, like, you didn't want to put a bitter taste in your AFL experience, like were you worried about burning bridges with Brisbane, or what made you make that decision?
Yeah, well, I guess the biggest thing was, the way Brisbane and the AFL kind of went about it. I guess they had their own rules to what the government rules were. I guess one of the biggest things for me was because I got COVID. So once you get COVID, that means that you don't have to get a vaccine for 6 months.
Okay.
So that was a government rule. That was an Australian rule.
Yeah.
And so once I got COVID, I got an exemption from the vaccine. I shouldn't have had to get it.
Okay.
So for me, it didn't make sense for me to lose my job when I got I had a government exemption from the vaccine.
Okay.
And then literally when I got the exemption, it gave me 6 months off, and then 6 months down the track, they took away the vaccine. What's it called? Mandation. So
rules, they were changing so much.
Yeah, so it's it was bittersweet and stuff like that, but in my eyes, I felt like I did nothing wrong. I followed the government's rules. I know, obviously, the AFL is a big company and stuff like that, but they should be still following the government's rules. So if I got an exemption and I could roll around any town or any place in Brisbane, because...
Was it different for Victoria rules? Like, were they... Because I know, like, here, living on the border, Victoria, New South Wales, we would get whoever had the worst rules, we had to go by them because we were kind of like 1 foot in each door. So was it the same with the AFL? Because you're travelling around, you had to be under the worst rule in Australia, or was that always the...
I think that was the, I guess, the restrictions on, like, moving around, like, also depending on how many cases you had in your state.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that exemption meant that I could go anywhere, really.
Okay. So it was like Australia-wide, the vaccination thing.
Yeah. And so I think it was pretty much medically a medical exemption. So like the doctors had realised that because you had COVID, you had your own antibodies from it. So there's no point in putting more if you already just build up a resilience to it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of one of the biggest things why I took the the road of, I guess, getting back the money that I was owed, because I still had a year in my contract.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, I felt like I was fit and ready to honour that contract and play. And I'd done a pre-season and stuff like that. The only thing that was stopping me was the AFL rule, which in my eyes didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So did you succeed?
Unfortunately, it's still ongoing. Haven't succeeded, but it was still evaluating. I guess the promising thing is seeing all these other cases be successful around the world. I'm pretty sure Qantas people had a successful lawsuit, and there's other people around the world. So,
right. So stay posted.
Yeah, hopefully we get there. And I know the court proceedings and all that type of stuff is a long journey. But yeah, I'm a determined person.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, speaking of long journeys, I know we spoke a little bit about off air, like that, your story is such a roller coaster. I feel like young boys and girls now, they dream so much about being the AFLW, and a lot of the time they see all these stories like, you know, Dacos and Harley, and everyone's dreams comes true and that, but there's obviously a lot of stories that aren't all up, or you know, they don't work out. What's your best advice for, you know, the young up and comers that are dreaming about the AFL?
Yeah, I guess the best thing is just like once you're in the system, obviously getting there is massive. So if you can do as much, I guess one of my biggest thing is play as many sports as you can. I think that helped me. When I was younger, I played basketball, I did boxing, footy, surf lifesaving, heaps of swimming on the weekends, skated. Like I was into everything, and I think that helped me a lot, especially being a taller guy. Gave me a lot of coordination, balance and stuff like that, so that helped me transition into a midfielder. But once you get into the system, I guess the best thing is align yourself with a senior player and someone that's already in the team, who's cemented his spot, and look at his habits, what's made him successful. But make sure that you have a goal, and you're determined to, I guess, get the best out of yourself every time you go into the club. But also you got to make sure that you think about what you're doing on the outside. So make sure you have, whether you want to study, whether you want to do social work or anything outside of footy that can kind of be an escape that can turn into, I guess, a career. I found it best when, because I think in my last 2 to 3 years when I had my best years, I was working at a cafe in Adelaide. Shout out to Jama's Kitchen in Adelaide. But I was doing 1 day a week, opening up at 5:30 in the morning, and pretty much being a barista.
So have a backup plan.
Definitely have a backup plan, and just something to, I guess, take your mind away from footy, because once you're in the system, it's pretty full on. Like there's so much information that you have to receive, so many things that you have to do, and things don't go to plan. Like I've definitely been there, and like you get injuries and stuff like that, and you feel like you should get picked when you don't get picked. Sometimes things happen, and you should always have a backup plan. But I guess it's weird, like all these clubs now have academies and stuff like that, so they can kind of prepare you. But if you're not, because footy's only I think the average player is 3 to 4 years these days. So you should always know that what you want to do. Obviously you want to be an AFL football player, but it's only for 5% of your life, 10% of your life. So make sure you got a backup plan, and make sure you know what you want to do, because things happen.
Well, speaking of things happening, you've spent the last couple of years at Wodonga Raiders. Obviously they haven't had a successful season. Wins and losses. I'm a former Raider girl, so I feel your pain. Did you enjoy it? I guess is my biggest question. Like, you've come to country Victoria. Did you enjoy it? Yeah,
I loved it. It was the best move I've ever made. Obviously I was living on the Gold Coast. Love that lifestyle, like the beach and everything like that. But it was just a good reset. Like I love country people. when I was at the Eagles, I always aligned myself with all the borderers and the country boys that would come in with the West Torrens. And so coming down here, it was just so smooth and kind of reset my life and kind of figured out what I wanted to do. Halfway through an electrical apprenticeship, which has been unreal, which is something I'll I can't even say that word.
I've got you, it's all good.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it's something that I'll do for the rest of my life, and yeah, it's just been unreal. The people, and obviously, like, I had a dabble at coaching and stuff, and assistant coaching, and didn't have the most successful last 2 years, but the experience and the people that I've met has helped me to, I guess, know where I want to go in the future.
Yeah, is coaching something you're going to look at in the future, or
not while I'm playing? No.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
No, I'm too competitive.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our team was so young.
Yeah.
And I don't know what is the new kids these days, the way they learn.
Yeah.
I just found it like trying to be a coach and then trying to be a player at the same.
It's a lot to focus on, especially when you're out on the field and you're trying to focus on your own game. Like, then being aware of what everyone else is doing is like.
Yeah, it was just, I found myself, like, it was great. Like, I felt like I played really good footy for the last 2 years and stuff, but trying to engage in the boys while in the heat of the moment on a footy field was just too much. I had too much going on in my head.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something I'd love to do when I'm fully finished with footy, and I guess the competitiveness is kind of, I don't think actually it will ever die down, but I'll
be easier to focus when you're off field.
I'll push it into a different avenue. Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing you did while you're at Raiders, you designed the Indigenous jumper this year.
Yeah.
How was that process?
Yeah,
Were you artistic, or did you like offload that to someone?
No, that was me. That was me.
It's all you guys.
It's got my little signature underneath there. So.
Oh, cool.
But artwork has been part of my life for all my life, really, because my grandpa, he's an artist. He actually taught in university doing art, and he's always pushed us, me and my brothers and sisters and cousins, all towards art. And I did it when I was younger. Funny story, when I was younger, I was part of an art group called. You
would not pick it, would you?
I know. It was all through high school, so we were called the Mulligers, which means young men from the Daly River up in Northern Territory.
Yeah.
And so one of the boys was from the Daly River. It was me and my cousin, and then Jack, who's non-Indigenous, and there was a Greek kid. It was just multicultural, mixed bag. English kid, it was just unreal, and there was a stage where we'd go back to my mate's house, muck around in the pool, fight, wrestle, things got broken. And so Jack, his mum is an artist as well.
Yeah.
She had an art studio in the backyard and goes, sick of you guys breaking stuff and hurting each other. Get in the studio now and do some art.
Do something constructive, guys.
Do something constructive. She had all these ceramics there to be painted. So we started painting.
Yeah.
And then she used to sell her stuff, sealed paintings and all this stuff at the festival theatre markets. And then we started doing some art, and she's like, oh, they're pretty good. Like, do you want to bring it to the festival theatre markets and sell it? And that's what we did on our, I think it was Fridays.
Just natural talent.
Fridays after school, load the car up, get the store ready, and not Fridays. So wild. It'd be Sunday markets. Sunday markets, the festival theatre. And we used to sit there and just sell. It was just unreal.
That's so cool. It's a little bit like a stereotype thing, isn't it? Like, you see these big, manly AFL guys and you just think like, oh, they wouldn't be the arts type as well.
Yeah.
I think it's great to hear you talk about it, because there's a lot of like healthy masculinity nowadays.
Yeah.
Cody, what's Cody's name from Bulldogs?
Waitman.
Yeah, he does all that stuff online. And I think it's just so good for young boys to see, like, you can do both.
Oh, absolutely. And it's something that I've always wanted to do a Guernsey. I wanted to do the Adelaide one.
Yeah.
But didn't end up getting around to it. And then I did the Brisbane warm-up Guernsey. So I don't know if it's online anymore, but yeah, I did the Brisbane warm-up Guernsey, so the Guernsey that they'd go out to before the game and train around. And it was funny, I went to the grand final last weekend.
Yeah.
And fans are still wearing it, which is cool.
Wow,
so
that is cool.
Get to see your design there.
Yeah.
And then Pricey from the club, Joel Price from the club, asked if I wanted to do it, and I was more than happy. So
that's
got
really
got the Procreate out on the iPad and just started designing it.
Went for it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of your creative side,
Yeah.
you've just launched a business. Do you want to tell everyone about that?
Yeah, so I launched Rui Botanicals, which is a skincare brand for men and women. It is all natural skincare brand, and it has lots of native botanicals from Australia that Aboriginals used to use for pretty much 60,000 years, and it's just so
It's really cool.
So awesome. It's funny how all the medicinal properties and like the quandam fruit has 10 times.
I didn't know what you said there.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh my god, I haven't heard of that.
Quandam with a Q.
Quandam.
Yeah, quandam.
What is that? What kind of fruit is that?
So it's you make jams out of it. It's like a strawberry. It's like
Learn something new
but
every
it's
day.
sweeter. It's probably like it's more savoury.
Okay.
But the jam's unreal. You grew up on it, loved it.
Try it.
And it's got 10 times more vitamin C than an orange. So it's abundant. Like all these different botanicals are abundant with good medicinal health benefits.
Yeah.
A lot of it's anti-aging, really good for the skin.
So when you launch these products, are you going to do a little bit of educational stuff about Indigenous culture and? Yeah,
definitely. It's one of the things, I guess. So me and my two cousins have started it and launched it. It was in September at the Australian Beauty Expo.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing was we had a stall there and we were able to show our culture through the stories of how we grew up and why we kind of came together and thought this would be an awesome opportunity to, I guess, even promote our culture as well on a bigger scale. And show what Aboriginal people used to use.
Yeah, I think education is key. Like, we are getting to a much better place in society where people genuinely want to know more, and I think the more people know, the more they can embrace it. Yeah,
absolutely. It's funny because, like, I guess I could even blame it on COVID, but a lot of people are going to the all-natural, native stuff. So it was just something that we've been working on for 5 years. So it's been in the works, talking about it, working out the logistics, and then in September we'll finally able to get ready to launch, and then we'll be ready for retail end of January, which is the plan. And it's just been awesome, and something outside of footy, which is the biggest thing. Oh, that's my phone again.
He's popular, guys. My phone hasn't rang once.
Maybe that's Brisbane. No, I'm kidding.
He's getting the call up again.
I think I'm in trouble. But it's something that we've been wanting to do, and just the process of getting it all together has been something that I've really, really loved, because it's not footy. It's far from it. The industry is so far away from footy. So that kind of was one of the things that attracted it to me was, I guess, the business side and learning something new. Yeah,
well, and it's probably you get to embrace your culture, and also you get to outlet your creative side. So it's a really cool space for you to be in.
Absolutely, and it's been pretty successful early on. We've had a few investors and a lot of good feedback from the expo. A lot of people shocked that 3 Indigenous males are doing skincare, but I think it's just awesome that we're having a go, and I guess all 3 of us have our own little parts that we're doing in the business, but when we come together, we've got a really awesome product.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it before, healthy masculinity.
Yeah,
all about it.
Definitely.
Well, I'm going to ask you the question I think most people want to know.
Yeah.
What are you doing next year for footy?
Yeah.
So you're going to move to the Goldie to be with Bianca?
Yeah. So moving on the 25th I don't even know why I'm saying the date of when I'm moving, but 25th of this month, I'm out of
stalkers,
here. I'm gone from the border. So moving away to the Gold Coast, obviously to be with Bianca. Long distance sucks.
Yeah.
To anyone who's done long distance or considering long distance, terrible.
Hey, it makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, they say that, but it's just, it's tough. Yeah. It's very tough.
So Gold Coast, who's the lucky team?
I don't know.
Ooh,
so this is funny. I can't even give an insight because I just said to, like, I've had a few calls from the Quaffle, Cairns, even back down here.
Have Sharks called you?
No. See, I'm not going that high. That's too
high. You want lower?
Not doing VFL. No.
You want chill, fun.
Yeah, I want to enjoy. Like, even Quaffle might be too much for me.
Really?
Yeah.
You want like country life?
Yeah.
Level.
Well, I went to the TDFL grand final with Hickey.
So good vibes, hey. Such good vibes. I changed my sentence mid then, but such good vibes.
Yeah. So like one of the best grand finals I've ever been to. Yeah. Like shout out to Yak, who just absolutely dominated the day. Yeah. But yeah, it was just so good, and just to be like see all these mates just winning a flag and enjoying footy. It wasn't so serious.
It's a community feel,
and
isn't it?
Seeing like thousands of cars rolling around this oval. You don't get anything like that in the higher leagues. Like I played VFL where we get like 50 people. Yeah. And you're playing in an empty stadium.
I really struggled at Sharks for that. Like coming from country footy, I just miss that sense of like community and family, and it's just a bit of like a more cold experience, isn't it?
Well, it's just I guess the professionalism kind of takes away. Like it's always fun. Like a lot of clubs make their own fun, but it's just like once you get like I'm 31, nearly 32. I don't want to take away the seriousness. So I'm still competitive, so I'll still play well. Yeah. But I kind of want.
Yeah, Hickey said the same thing. Yeah, so I think everyone's kind of we're all a similar age, where we're we're ready to just enjoy ourselves.
Exactly. But I can't give you any inside goss, unfortunately.
No, well, that's great. Anyone Queenslanders listening, you got a free agent.
Yeah. Shout out to anyone who wants to.
There are quite a few local boys from here that are currently playing up in Queensland for Surface and Broady and that. So if they're listening,
well, those two teams might be a couple of teams that I've been talking to.
There you go.
But we'll see what happens. I'll move up, and then I'll make a decision on footy.
Cool. All right, well, we always end with a fun game and a quick question.
Okay, here we go.
So your game's a little bit different, but same but different. It's called this or that. So I'll give you two things, and you just tell me what you prefer. Okay. I swear it's not hard.
I'm indecisive.
Are you indecisive?
Yeah.
Okay, we might be here for another hour,
okay,
guys.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Okay, Palmy or Palmer?
This is the most annoying. The debates that
You've
40
got to
people
have
have.
An answer. You must know what you say. Palmer?
No, it's a Palmy.
Yeah, I'm Palmy.
I'm from Adelaide.
We don't have to argue.
I'm from Adelaide. All the Victorians that used to come are Palmer.
But see, I'm Victorian and I'm Palmy.
Yeah, maybe it's because you're too close to the border.
Yeah, I'm Mexican. I don't know what's going on.
Who let you in?
Oh, gosh. Okay, easy. Nick Dacos or Harley Reid?
Oh, man.
That's a hard
one. I'm going to... Because I worked in Tungala. Yeah. And shout out to Tony's takeaway in Tungala. Like the lovely ladies, unreal. They looked after us when we were there. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they knew Harley Reid's parents. Okay. And so I got to
just through people you go on Harley.
I feel like I'm a local in Tungala. Like honestly, so I'm backing the boy from Tungala.
All right, Harley Reid. Okay, next one. Not footy related. Carl Barron or Hamish and Andy.
Oh man, Carl Barron. Yeah.
Classic, right? I do love Hamish and Andy, but
I feel like they're slipping.
Probably one of my favourite. Well, they've been around long enough.
I know, but Carl, he's always been the same age. I feel like.
He doesn't. You're actually right. He doesn't age.
He's like Morgan Freeman. Like he's always been that old. Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. You're right. Yeah. Okay, day game or night game?
Night, for sure. Yeah.
Atmosphere related or weather related?
I just like a sleep in.
But don't you get bored waiting all day? You're like, I'm just ready to go.
See, I can just do my whole day routine. Like it's just like a Saturday without. It's like a Saturday without footy.
And then you still have energy to play a game later.
Yeah, a couple of shots in the coffee.
Agree to disagree there. I'm asleep by night. Chocolate in the fridge or freezer? This is a touchy subject for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Definitely not in the fridge.
Thank you.
Definitely not in the fridge.
Thank you.
That's weird.
My dad's an in the fridge guy, and it does my head in. I'm like, I gotta sit it in my mouth for 10 minutes before it gets that nice flavour.
You can't even enjoy it straight away.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's easy. And then I did this one with Liam, but it's like my favourite question, so we're gonna hit it again.
Yeah.
Game-winning goal or goal? Wait. Yeah. Game-winning. I've wrote it wrong on here.
Oh.
Game-saving tackle.
Yep.
Or game-winning goal.
Tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because, definitely tackle. And everyone dreams about the game-winning goal, and it'd be unreal. But just to if you stop, it's like I compare it to Leo Barry when he took that big mark against West Coast.
Yeah.
Am I too old? Does anyone Leo Barry?
Maybe for some of the crowd, but
it's like
you tell your story anyway.
Like a guy's he just come across the face, just took that mark.
Yeah.
And then a guy's running along the wing, and you just managed to catch him. And tackle. And then just saved it.
Yeah, like running into an open goal. The whole crowd's on their feet. There's seconds to go. You just crunch the guy.
Absolutely.
No better feeling.
And then you retain the footy for 30 seconds or however long you're allowed to.
Just jump on the damn thing.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that anymore. Actually, don't. You got to try to get rid of it, everybody. Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Who is your favourite player to watch at the moment?
Oh.
We can do AFL, O&M, AFLW.
See, this is... No, I haven't watched many.
No, everyone does the same thing. They panic in their face.
No. But my favourite player, Brianna Davey.
Legend.
Collingwood. Oh my God. No family have surfed with her sisters. Absolutely love surfing. But she is an absolute legend. Yeah. And one of the best players, I reckon, in the league for sure.
And she seems to have the respect of so many people too. Everyone speaks so highly of her.
Definitely. But... It's funny, it's like the opposite, because I think Nick Dacos should have won the goal of the year.
Who won it, Harley?
Harley Reid.
Because Nick had two nominations in it, didn't he?
Nick's goal when he just arched his back, running away from Lachie Neale, Brownlow medalist, and managed to stabilize himself, get his balance get his feet under his legs, and kick that goal was just superstar.
I wanted him to win the Brownlow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I had him for... Well, I think it's just also because of his story.
Yeah.
Where he's at, and obviously, last year, just missing those few games, and that, obviously, so much respect for Cripper, not taking away from him. But
what are your thoughts on the Brownlow this year? The count.
Let's not get me blacklisted this early on.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I think, did you see Andrew Dillon's wife's interview on the red carpet?
No.
Everyone's talking about it because I seen an interview with Nick Rewalt talking about it, because she's interviewed on the red carpet before the count and is asked who she wants to win.
Yeah.
And she says Mark Bontempelli, but I've been told he's not up there.
Oh.
And so yeah. And so everyone's
wait, this is before?
Before the count. And you see Andrew Dillon just kind of standing there, smiling. And I remember I was watching it and I said to Dad, I don't think she was supposed to say that. No. But it was just this really awkward moment. But I think you're a little bit delusional if you don't think that the AFL know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There is so much preparation that go into a vote count. If you think that no one genuinely knows what's going to happen, you're a little bit delulu.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone's got to organise all this stuff.
Definitely, absolutely. They definitely know who's going to win and everything like that. But just
because people are shocked when they go up to people with a camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, they come over. They must have known there's going to. Of course they know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. It's.
What about it that got you this year?
I just don't.
The count, who's getting the counts for you?
Yeah, just the votes. Some of the players that don't get hardly any touches or don't really get that much of an impact in the game, but they still get 3 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, I just have so much respect for the umpires.
Yeah. Oh, this is on the fence.
I know, this is going to be touchy, but I just think I have given a run at umpiring before.
Yeah.
And then someone come up to me and asked for the votes, and I was like, dude, like, I'm too busy, like, concentrating.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, like, and especially at the AFL level, there is so much scrutiny on them to get every call right. And then I've actually heard Razor Ray talking about them doing the Brownlow Breeds. He did an interview where he talked about the process and how long they're in the room for after discussing it. And honestly, I think for what they're doing and how they do a great job. I think the problem is not maybe that. Like, if you want someone that's going to be sure of all the disposals and be able to look at from a broad picture, like, maybe they should have a panel that are just, like, literally the Brownlow breeders, and that's their job for the day.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. I think a separate panel is the way to go.
Yeah.
But, a lot of controversy, but I don't reckon anyone should win by that much. Like, especially, like, Cripper, absolute gun.
Yeah.
Absolute gun, but, yeah, I don't reckon he played that well. Like
that. Well, even Dacos to break the record.
Yeah.
And not win is
that's
a little bit crazy.
Unheard of. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Wait, who's your favourite player? Did we even get around to that?
Right now, Nick Dacos. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how we got on.
Yeah. Unreal to watch. Harley Reid will probably be up there at some point.
Yeah.
Absolute beast. But yeah, those two are just standouts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how Lachie Neale goes about everything.
Yeah.
The grand final was unreal. Thought he should have won Norm, but we won't go there. But yeah, it's just kind of just look at the midfielders because I'm a midfielder.
Yeah, so, it's relatable.
Yeah.
So you've spent 2 years in the Ovens and Murray. Who was the person you admire most in your time here?
Wodonga Raiders have unreal volunteers. Like, they're just, the support staff is just
unreal. Off field.
No, I know. I just, like, Kenny, who helps out, like, it's just, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I just, I really respect Zenon, the president of Raiders. Yeah, just the way he's gone about the last 2 years being president and, I guess all the stuff that's happened and, yeah.
And he's an amazing human being because he also, you probably wouldn't know this, but he used to do the junior, was the president of the junior committee. And then when the female football came around, they were taken under the junior banner.
Oh, yeah.
So Zen did all of that when it started up as well and helped set up the club a lot. So he has helped literally every aspect of that club. So
yeah,
claps for Zen. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah, he's definitely, but player-wise, I'm not too sure. Like, there's
a lot of talent in the Ovens.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just, I guess in my first year, Angus Baker was unreal. I love playing against him. Tall mid, very agile. But I'm not too sure.
You can go with Baker.
This year, we'll go with Baker last year, and then this year, I'm very unsure.
Baker. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Cam.
No worries.
I've learned a lot today.
Nah, thank you for having me. How long is this a long one? Is this a good one?
This is an hour and 9 minutes.
Yeah, it just flowed. That was good. Yeah.
I appreciate it. And good luck with your move to Queensland.
No worries. Thank you so much.
We'll be staying tuned as to who you play for.
Yeah, can't wait to get up there and enjoy the beach and, get into, I guess, life after footy. Eventually. Not just yet. But, yeah, eventually.
Well, I hope you enjoy.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
We do a thumbs up. Thank you so much.